amazing Ann and Ann and Jim Glenn here from Texas. Where in Texas are you guys?
San Antonio.
San Antonio, Texas. They built a double diamond business from what I understand, and they do all kinds of events all over Texas. So we're going to pick their brains tonight and see what they're doing to build such a gigantic business. So first of all, you guys, welcome to the call.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
It's an honor that we got invited.
Yeah,
we love doing these.
Absolutely. So tell us, this the last week of this incredible promotion that's going on, this buy two, get one free, or buy three, get one free. So are you guys leveraging that promotion?
Oh yeah.
You betcha. Yeah.
Yeah, we do a lot of texting, a lot of calling. All the meetings that we do, we open up with, the promotion. So yeah, we're, and I don't know if we'll really ever see this again. So, we're putting it, and we also try to educate people that, it's good to have extra redox on hand.
Yep.
I talked to one of our associates down in Corpus Christi, and she has an issue, not feeling well. And I said, well, take more. And it's always great to have more on hand so that not if, but when those issues happen, you've got more that you can take. And we kind of learned that from Harry and April. If you're feeling something, then double your dose. If that's not enough for 3 or 4 days, then double it again. So it's always great. We always advise folks, especially now, to take advantage of, get the extra while you can.
That, and it's of course a great gift to somebody for Christmas. So
yeah,
we definitely leverage it for that. I do a Facebook business page. So probably every third post is all about the promotion and the countdown to Friday. So
yeah. And I do want to advise folks, do not change, do your best and not change your auto ship. Keep your auto ship the same, or shift it to something that you're not currently utilizing, which might be the nutraceuticals.
Mm-hmm.
But don't ever let your auto ship, and you want to coach. Now, is this a associate only type call?
We've got a blend, but it's mostly associates from all over.
Okay. So, you just want to get in the habit of not changing your auto ship. And even if you are new, you don't want to risk losing your loyalty points if you forget to put your auto ship back in. You just want to try to get into the habit of not tweaking your auto ship too much to where you might lose your loyalty points.
Yeah, especially if you're starting at 15 and then you're already at 20. Yeah, you don't want to be losing that value.
Yeah, take you 10 months to get to 20 back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The percentage you're talking about.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
Percentage. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
It's up to, it starts at 5, goes to 10, goes to 15 and 20. When you build it up to 20, if you cancel your auto ship for a month, you go back down to 5%.
Yeah,
Right.
Not worth it.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Excellent. So what are you guys doing to end the year strong?
Well, we daily.
Well, I put up my Christmas lights.
You should see them. There's a lot.
Hey, it's awesome to be able to do that, quite frankly, because I've got a picture up here of our dream board, and I've got 4 pictures of 4 cities that we're working heavily right now, and I've got a packed meeting room of 4 different pictures, and it's going to be breaking 10 diamonds at each of those meetings. So it would be 40 diamonds underneath us. But then I have a picture of a crock pot. And I'm not a crackpot, but a crock pot. And the reason I have that on there, and I have never forget, because how long ago was it? 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, we couldn't afford to get our hot water heater fixed. And so we literally had to use a crock pot to heat the water in the bathroom, and then hop in the shower with cold water coming out, and then mixing that with the hot water coming out of the crock pot. So I never want to forget where we came from. And so it's always remembering, but not letting that hold you back. But that's why we are very active in meeting with, talking to, developing, meeting new people. We try to meet new people every single day. Ann is the champ. I don't know how many fast forwards, we're during a 2-week period of time. If you open up 4 or 8 associates, that you can get free products. So we want to tell new folks that there is a way to get free stuff.
Yep.
But I don't know how many we've done.
Probably 30.
I know we
30-ish.
were like in the top 5 in all of ASEA for doing fast forwards. And we are, who isn't, maybe a little bit competitive. So we like getting the free stuff. And so we just keep on plugging ahead.
Well, and you were asked about leveraging, even in the end of the year during Christmas, we still, our Thursday meeting in San Antonio was 17 people, which was pretty good considering it's this close to Christmas. And we do a San Antonio meeting, we do a Corpus Christi meeting, which is 2-hour drive. We do a Kerrville lunch every Friday, that's an hour away. And that team is growing strong. And then Jim just picked back up going into the Valley, which is, of course, south of San Antonio, a good,
2 hours.
2.5 hour or so hours drive to get there. So those are the pockets of groups that we hit strong where we can drive to.
And I am going to state that we, in Texas, we're fairly open. I know a lot of people are having to deal with a lot of restrictions. But every meeting that we do, and we do believe, Terry Latham, when we started 6.5 years ago, we never had any networking experience. I'm an ex-stockbroker of 30 years, and Ann was an ad executive selling advertising. So we never had any experience with networking. So, but Terry always told us to do an in-home meeting. And so that's kind of, we rebelled against that and said, no, we're not going to do it like that. And so we finally did. And so we go from a smaller in-home, but we actually had 40 people in our home. Well, how was that, like maybe 5 years ago?
Yeah, our first, it
4
took
years
us a
ago.
year to get to doing a in-home meeting. We were part-time when we first started.
Yeah. So, but then you go to, now we're doing several in restaurants. And so we try to find a restaurant for free where we just order food, but we're able to gather together. But every meeting we do, we also do it on Zoom, so that we ask our people, hey, invite people that don't live local and that maybe don't want to get out. And so invite them to come on to the Zoom meeting. So I just had one of our associates send me a text. She thought we had a meeting tonight, but all the live meetings that we do, either in someone's home or in the restaurant, we put them on Zoom. And so we have what we call a Redox Quick Look, which is a 20 to 25 minute presentation, again, on the redox molecules. And we're probably doing 6 or 7 of those every week.
Okay,
So that's a great example for people on here with the emerging leaders, for them to take the reins and do the same thing, because that accelerates your business. Just going back to your goals and your targets and your vision board, how important, well, firstly, how's that gone for you? And how important is it to have a vision board and set your goals and targets?
Ann and I are totally different. I'm an ex-financial advisor, a stockbroker, and for 30 years. And I had a buddy in the office. We had like 50 brokers in the office, and the failure success rate is very minimal in that industry. Maybe not too far from what it is here. But I had a friend in the office that we held each other accountable. And so we would make our list. That was what I did, is I made my list, like I'm now doing in my daytimer, where I have 10 to 20 people that I'm going to reach out to tomorrow. And in doing that, I doubled my business one year as a broker. But Ann is one of the handful of people that I know, Danny, that she's driven no matter what. She does the same thing literally every day. I mean, we are sharing, Ann does 7 days a week, whether it be with Facebook, you can go into that, what you're doing with.
Yeah, I just strike a conversation with them on Messenger, whether I start out with happy birthday, I got a recruit out of that. Whether I reach out to them if they're like, oh, I'm ailing with this or that, I'll, plant a seed. I may send a happy anniversary, congrats on the new baby, congrats on retirement, whatever, just to strike a conversation, just to build a relationship. And then obviously, it'll eventually lead to, what do they do? What do I do? And that's where I try to get an appointment. I either try in person or on a phone. And obviously I prefer in person. If they are real interested, but I can't, they live in another state, I'll send them a sample. We've gotten recruits that way, just by, plant a seed, they show interest, they watch a video, and once we send them a sample, they get more hooked and sign them up. So that, and when I'm out and about, whenever we go to these small towns, I will pick up business cards and strike a conversation.
So
find out what they do, and then just lead right into, what I do. And we've gotten one of our producers that lives in Montana half the year and half the year in Texas. She came from another company, and I would never have known that if I didn't reach out to her and say, hey, I picked up one of your business cards. So, that's how I keep, there's never a shortage. If people say they don't have enough people to talk to, you need to just go out there, go to the billboards that have business cards, go to businesses that keep them by their register, go to a coffee shop and start chatting with people. You can find people to talk to, obviously online, Facebook, Instagram, there's plenty out there.
Danny, I was a broker, and I put, we do a lot of investing. So there were some investments that didn't work out. So when I left that industry, I did not have a telephone full of past investment clients that I could reach out to. And I'll tell anybody that if you want to truly be successful on the big time scale, you have to get comfortable with reaching out to strangers. This is an industry, and whenever I do a meeting, my favorite question to ask people, okay, guys, this is real. And everybody's, yes, this is real. And I go, who deserves to hear about this? And they all respond, well, everybody. And I go, then how are they going to hear about it? They're only going to hear about it from us. And I say that to all the people that are new on either the technology or weighing it out. And I'll just tell you, we have all the science. Danny, your story is one of the best out there. Read all the testimonials. We have hundreds of, if not more than that, testimonials. So you have to make a decision. Is it real or is it not? We're either making this up, but you can't make up this over a 12-year period of time. So we just speak very blunt and very frank with people. And you can tell when it resonates with someone because they go, yeah, that would interest me. And so, we send them the real redox results, have them watch the intro video. You can't be the tool. That's one of the biggest things that we try to coach people to do, is to not be the tool. And I know that we hear that all the time. And I had a really hard time with that because as a broker, I had to be the expert in the room. I could not say, well, here, go watch a video on this money manager. Well, then why do I need you? So I had to be the expert in the room for 30 years. And I did a lot of estate planning and things like that. So here, when I was told, well, you can't do that, I kind of, don't tell me what I can and can't do type thing. Because I believe Ann and I can sell anything to anybody. And we did. We had a lot of people that came in. And a lot of those people are still with us. They still love the technology. But we never found any builders. So, because they all would say, well, you guys are awesome, but we can't duplicate that. And so we have to learn to keep peak interest, keep the message short. Danny, I've come across something absolutely gigantic. And I believe everybody deserves to know what is now available. Everybody does. Whether you believe it or not, and I'll even say, if you don't believe this, that's fine. But who do you know that's dealing with a health or a wealth problem? They have a health issue and or they have a financial issue. Because I'll be frank with you guys, at 58 years old, I had no hope. I had nothing. We had nothing in the bank. And it's embarrassing to say that as an ex-financial advisor, through the ups and downs of the stock market and then other things that happen along the way. I am so thankful that my best friend shared this with me 6.5 years ago. And it took his son almost dying from a bug that he got on a cruise ship 7.5 years ago. So from a horrible thing that happened to him, this technology came to us. And again, I've had 10 lower back surgeries. I was addicted to pain medication. And I don't know where I would be right now without the technology and with the business, with both. I can talk to anybody about both sides of the coin. As an ex-financial advisor, the mass majority of people, if I ask on this call right now that if you could not work another day, do you have enough money set aside to take care of you and your loved ones for the rest of your life, but you have no idea how long you're going to live? So how do you map that out versus creating an income stream that you can't outlive? So I wish I could go back to my brokerage clients and explain to them, because, and I told a friend this today, that if I would have seen me in my financial condition 6.5 years ago, I would have said, you got to go get another job. You got to figure out, because you don't have any money. You can't save enough. You don't have enough time to let what we call the rule of 72 work, which is how often your money doubles, which is also a scam, a sham, I should say. But people right now, and I'll never forget Bo and Cindy, who brought you guys into the business?
Chuck and Tammy Gates.
Yeah. And when did they hear about it?
When did they hear about it?
When were they introduced to Redox?
Just before Christmas,
Exactly.
2009.
And
Yeah.
What a Christmas present that was for him.
I know, right?
so
Don't prejudge.
yeah. So are they thankful that someone shared it with them? I think it's the most loving gift that we can give somebody, is not only their, Danny, how thankful are you that Bart Cotter called you?
Yeah, I always say the most precious gift we could ever give and receive, for sure.
You know, and
you
Go ahead,
guys are
Cindy.
gearing up for a 90-day push. Let's talk a little bit about that. So after the first of the year, you're going to spend some time with your family, put up your Christmas lights, enjoy the holidays. And then come January, tell us about what you got planned.
Well, I do need a lot of prayer. My daughter's getting married on the 31st,
Yeah,
a couple of weeks.
we're excited.
But then we're going to Park City, and for the third time, I'm going to attempt to go snow skiing. So I really covet your prayers. Cindy, I know you were a professional skier, right?
Yeah, ski instructor for
Yeah.
30 years. Yeah.
I'm not. So anyway, so
It's going to be a blast.
we're going to go have fun. We're going to go see home office and go have fun with our daughter. But
The other daughter.
yeah, another daughter in Salt Lake City.
So that's 5 days, but right before we go, we're kicking it off with a couple of different teams. And obviously we're going to hit the ground running right immediately after the first. I know there's a 90-day push. I don't know all the details of it, but we're definitely getting people in movement mode and get them to, goal set. Danny, you mentioned goal sets. I mean, we have goals in front of us that we want to achieve, and we have a time frame. We want to do that. And we're excited about the trip that we are already in the runnings with. And so we want to paint that same picture for other people, that they can do the same thing. They can get to where they want to go, but they have to do consistent daily mode of operation. They have to do things that are income producing. They have to, a lot of time they're going to prospect. And if they want to do any personal development, do that at, non-prospect hours or a weekend, or carve that in. But, between the important time of the day, they need to be using a tool, and then leveraging a three-way with their upline and getting people on the product. So yeah, we're definitely doing a 90-day push as of January 2nd.
So I'll tell anybody how to do it. And actually, Bo, you kind of helped me with this a while back when you had your rule of thirds. But I use a day timer. And I saw one young lady using a day timer at a meeting at Denny Robinson's house, and her name was Trish Schrinkler. So I'm a little bit old school. So I use a day timer, but then I also use my telephone for booking appointments and having alarms. But I'll tell anybody exactly what to do. But the question is, will they do it? But you have to have an accountability partner, and you need to write down the 10, 15, or 20 names, whatever your number is, write them down the day before. And then I believe in carving out a time of day, and that's you don't take in no interruptions. And for 1 hour, you make your calls. And if you keep your talking short, use the tools like Ann was saying, you can get through 10 to 20 names easily in an hour. Let the tools do the talking, you don't. But so that's kind of what I'm going to be doing is in my day timer. I had probably 15 people that I attempted to call. I talked to 5 people today, booked 1 appointment. And it's just, we've been doing this for 6.5 years. So I can go into my phone and there's people that I did texting to 6 years ago that I still have in my phone. I didn't delete all of those. So I'm going to go back and rehash some of those. And then we love putting ourselves in position to meet new people. The best tool that you have is a smile. Just when you smile at people and they respond back, then to me, that's a door opener. That's, well, how are you doing today, Cindy? I don't know, at a gas station. I mean, I'll smile at someone and say, how y'all doing today? And they'll go, great. So you know what? I've got something. This is kind of how we roll. We talk to people all the time. And, I've come across the technology and I'm looking for the right people that are open to making some additional side part-time income. Do you know anybody that might have an interest? And I don't have my man wallet in here, but I've got about this big that it fits in my rear pocket. And I call it my man wallet because it's made from duct tape. I covered it in duct tape. I keep all my brochures in there. I keep the flyers that we use, in essence, my business cards. And so that goes with me everywhere I go. So you always have to be ready to talk to people. And if you're afraid to talk to people, well, you may want to pick a different industry because you've got to be open to talking to people. And I'll never forget, Danny, listening to your story when you went into that one gentleman's house that had a damaged foot somehow when you walked in there. But you got that because you weren't afraid to ask for the referral. And it's just, you can't be afraid to talk to people. Exactly. So we meet no strangers.
Right. I remember, Cindy, we were at an event at the noon. Well, it was not noon. It was before noon, but it was that Sunday morning until 12. We all get together in Denny's ending event. And you had said to people, and we were, halfway into our career. So I guess it was 2 or 3 years ago. And you had said, if you want to get, up in rank, you got to do back to back to back.
Yeah.
Fast forwards.
Yeah.
If you can keep, accomplishing those, that means you're talking to enough people,
Right.
Your funnel's getting full. Some of those people will drop off. Some of those preferreds will become associates. It's not hard to get enough D300s if you're doing enough fast forwards, and you just have to be a D300 machine all the time. Because
Yeah.
that's how we are able to be where we are, and we're already getting to the approaching of the triple diamond. So we're excited about that. But you do have to have a target. You do have to have a goal daily, what you're going to do. And yes, we're going to take a well-needed vacation for a few days, but while we're there, we typically will inevitably be talking to a few people, whether it's on the plane, waiting for getting on the plane, whether it's at a restaurant in Utah, whether it's wherever we are, a little bit to our team, but we're laser focused. So we don't, just because we're away doesn't mean our business is just stale. It's still going. And that's what's neat about the business, is still going to get a paycheck every week, whether you're, in town or not. So,
and how many of you guys personally sponsored?
Ooh, man.
Jim, you would know better than me.
I hate to say it, Cindy, I should know that number. Probably 100, a little over 100 possibly. But again, I will say we did not do it correctly in the beginning. We were just looking for friends and sickies, as I say it,
Well, we were part-time until a year and a half later, then you took it serious, and that's when you resigned from your brokerage.
And I'll be honest with you, Jerry White started a group. And when I realized I had other people that we could use for three-ways, that was when our business just really took off. So the three-ways are absolutely critical. And I think, what Ann was talking about, doing the fast forwards along with the 90-day push is critical. You got to get business. But I just want to throw out there, if I can, but as an ex-financial advisor, I used to do a lot of initial public offerings. And I just hope people can understand how massive of a deal that we have, how big this is. There is nothing like this. And just imagine that if one of the big pharmaceuticals made an announcement when the market closed and said, hey, we're getting ready to come out with what we have, but yet they could say everything. So you had a pharmaceutical saying we can do everything that's apparently locked up in the vault, all the medical stuff, which we don't say. But what would happen to the price of that stock? They would halt all trading. Nobody would ever sell it. It would go through the roof. But what would happen to all the competition? They would plummet, right? We can't comprehend how big of a deal this is. And I know that one man saw that vision in the beginning, and that was Virtus. And I am so totally thankful for what he did, that he gave us a chance for those that are willing to take it and work. And I will say, this is not a freebie. This is something that you have to be able to go out and talk to people and keep track of the people that you're talking to, by the way, as well. But where else can you go to make the kind of money that we're now making? I couldn't have done that anywhere else. And not building the team and not building the residual, duplicatable income that anybody else can do. We had a young lady join our team, but we didn't even know her. And within 6 months, she's an ambassador diamond. 6 months. And she never left her home. And she's a one-of-a-kind gal. But what does that tell me? It can be done.
Yep.
It can be done.
That's right. Well, you've covered so much, and I know we're coming to the end of the half hour. Danny, do you want to throw one last thought on them? Bo, do you want to throw one last thought on them before we wrap this up? Tonight?
Yeah, I was talking to myself then. I was on mute. You're just talking about shares and IPOs. I mean, we can't get shares in the company in ASEA, but hey, we can take a huge share of the market as an individual, and that share in the market's totally up to us. Whatever, it comes down to talking to people.
Well, Danny, I'll be honest with you. When my best friend, who's a banker, came to my home and he was showing us the stuff, I'm going, okay, Lord, if this is real, if this is really, really, really real, and I'll be frank with you, and you guys have been doing this longer than we have, but I have not found anything negative yet. Yeah. I haven't found any skeletons in the closet that can be yanked out, but I knew it from the beginning, and I didn't know what networking was. I said, okay, how can I become a part of this? Was it an IPO? Are they doing any kind of secondary offering? Is it, what do you do? So honestly, Danny, the best thing is that it's networking. There's nothing like networking. If people understand it, my gosh, it's the American dream. It's the global dream of being able to not have a cap on what you can make. It's all up to you. So I love it. We love it.
You like pie, you can take the biggest piece you want.
Exactly.
That's it.
And there's no cap. You can go bigger, like you.
Okay.
Like what Bo and Cindy have done. I mean, the imprint we're going to leave on the world is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if instead of being a financial planner or a stockbroker, or instead of being an ad executive salesperson, that you actually had a residual income way of producing income that way for those 30 years or however many years you did that? Just imagine how your life would be different today if that's the way those businesses were set up, as opposed to just trading time for money.
Exactly.
Right. You would never
Our
end up in the situation you ended up in, right?
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. Our month always started over at 0, and we had to create whatever we could for that month.
And I want to throw out there that if you're brand new, you're not too late. This is just at the beginning. And that is what is so exciting. You know, if you look at what's called the bell curve of an introduction of a new technology into the marketplace, this one's taking longer. And that's good for me. Why? Because we can build a bigger team. But when you've got a category creator, something no one knows anything about, we are educators. And by educating people correctly, you build a rock solid team of loyal people, because when you give them their life back and their financial dignity back, good Lord. I mean, how does that make y'all feel to know that you've got people like Debbie Wetzler and David Silverman and all those people, y'all, you know, it's mind boggling. I just don't know how people can go negative, what I call negative poo-poo heads. I don't like negative poo-poo heads. You know, we just keep going looking for the positive, upbeat people, and we're going to find them.
There you go.
You guys are great. I'm going to say one thing really quickly, but we're a couple minutes after the half hour. But talk about network marketing and residual income. I've said this before, but Sydney and I, over the past couple of years, have been going through a few different things. I broke my neck and was paralyzed. We ended up having the lovely COVID, and they decided to wham me with a double case of pneumonia on top of it. But you know what, guys? Every Friday, we still got the check. We were not putting in the time that we would like to have put in during all of those issues while we were taking care of, our health, whatever else. And the check still came every Friday. And that is one of the wonderful gifts that we're always fortunate and grateful about every week.
Well, you know, Bo, I used to sell a lot of insurance related type investments and, life insurance and disability insurance, long-term care. And I just reverse it around, say, are you worth an investment to to be proactive for your health? Are you worth an investment back into you? If you're not, that's okay. But we're looking for the people that are. And, we need to educate people. You only got one body. It's up to us to take care of it. It can last longer. But you know what my problem was, Bo? At 58 years old, I had no hope. I was addicted to pain pills. I had nowhere to go. I had a stimulator put into my back 9 years ago, and it wasn't working. Frankly, I didn't turn it on. That's one reason why it didn't work, is I hated it. But giving people their dignity and their health back, and then on top of that, if you want to get your dignity back and your financial health back,
this is the way to do it.
This is it. This is the best story you'll ever hear.
Yeah.
Right. Well, Ann and Jim, thank you so much.
Thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Bo.
Thanks for spending some time with us. Love you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Love you guys.
On your success. And I'm sure it's no accident that somebody found you with ASEA, and it's obviously part of you. So we really appreciate you guys. Thanks so much.
Appreciate you. Merry
Thank
Christmas.
you. Merry Christmas, everybody. God bless.
See you in Vegas. Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.
Guys.
Thanks.